Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
What's the Democratic Party doing? Well,
I don't know. We got Doug Schoen on.
We have Doug Schoen.
And yesterday there was a report put out on the state of the Democratic Party.
Yep, the 2024 election. They're calling it an autopsy.
Nobody better to ask than Doug Schoen, who's a Democratic strategist and a common sense Democrat. And we have a common sense Democrat in the studio, too. We have Governor David
So we
Paterson.
got two common sense Democrats.
Yeah. Doug, what the heck is going on?
John, for the first time, I can say I don't know. Our party, and I suspect Governor Paterson would agree with me, is literally out of control and is careening wildly in ways that makes no sense. You have people like this Graham Plattner in Maine, who is outside the norms of our culture and society, yet he will be the Democratic nominee for Senate. You have this woman Galindo in Texas, who wants to put Zionists in prison, concentration camps, and they haven't been denounced by my party. The autopsy was a completely ridiculous study that covered part, but certainly not all of the malfeasance and misfeasance of the 2024 election. My party is totally disorganized, moved far to the left, and the proverbial inmates are running the asylum. I say that metaphorically, but only metaphorically, sadly.
You know, Doug Schoen, also, you probably saw this, Doug. It's great to talk with you. This is Rita. That yes. I look at, also, there's this guy in Pennsylvania. I think it's Charles Rabb. He said some really horrible things.
He did.
Yes, and then you got the guy in Michigan. You got the Michigan Senate candidate, El Sayed. I mean, what is going on? Doug, I think back at how many times you and I have talked about politics, and we've had you on through the years. I've never would have imagined anybody running on any party in America with any of these outspoken values, and they are not backing away from them.
No, they are doubling down. And frankly, I say this as a proud Jew, and I know, Rita, that you and John respect Israel, respect Jews.
Yes, big time.
Have done a great deal in support thereof. But this is anti-Semitism, period. Full stop. I never thought my party would be infected by and taken over by the radical left and people who view Israel as an apartheid state, which is an abomination to me.
And Alan Dershowitz, who's been a Harvard professor for 60 years and a Democrat for 88 years, I can't believe he registered to be a Republican.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if you ask me whether I identify with these people, I can't. I disavow them. I'm not ready to be a Republican because there are elements of what the Republicans stand for I disagree with, but I sure am not this kind of Democrat, and I can't associate myself with views that are contrary to American values, contrary to my values, and most of all, filled with hate and misinformation.
You know, Doug, here's the $64 million question. How come there are not more common sense Democrats like you denouncing them? I mean, a few people have denounced the woman in Texas because it's so vile and so horrible. But there are a lot of people. The other day, like Graham Plattner, we were talking about this. There were a lot of members of the media who were shoving microphones saying, Elizabeth Warren, you endorse this guy. What do you think of his Nazi tattoo? Him, horrible comments about women, horrible comments about this. She suddenly got laryngitis, as did Hakeem Jeffries, all these. Why are they silent and allowing these people to still continue and possibly even get elected?
Because they're putting victory and short-term gain ahead of long-term principles, morals, and frankly, basic decency. I don't know how they can do this. I don't see how my party can function with people who take this kind of approach, these worldviews and these abhorrent positions, how we can function without denouncing them. I'm proud to be a Democrat, but a Fetterman Democrat, and a Clinton Democrat of the kind that John was proudly way back in the day, 30 odd years
I was a
ago.
Clinton Democrat.
I know that.
And I'm still friends with the president.
I know that. I know that. And he holds you in high esteem, as do I, and most people of goodwill. And I would tell you, for your listeners, I was at a private event where I heard John Catsimatidis speak from the heart about his values and those of the culture he grew up with. And it nearly brought tears to my eyes. But what brings real tears to my eyes and, leads me to be deeply, deeply distraught is what I see in my party now and the failure of Jeffries, Elizabeth Warren, indeed the entire leadership strata, Chuck Schumer, to disavow these people.
Yeah, I agree.
This isn't politics. This is hate.
Yeah, I agree. To me, and there's no place for it in any party, and especially to run for Congress. It's shocking to me. Governor Patterson.
Well, Doug, I want to know what you think about this. When I hear the things that some of the people that you have cited, the things that they've actually said, and the little response from anybody to thwart what they're saying, it reminds me of student government, where people were getting up really just to be heard and just to project themselves, but really don't have any real morals or any compass about when to say things and when not to. And I'll be on here tomorrow at 3:00. So anybody who's listening, I'm going to denounce all of them.
Well, my concern, Governor, and I have the highest degree of regard for you, as you, I'm sure, know, is that this isn't student government. This isn't make-believe. This is the real world, and we are dealing with hate. We're dealing with the encouragement of violence in the case of Graham Plattner, and we are dealing with people who are trafficking him in anti-Semitism in ways that is unbelievable for those of us who believed that we had moved past the horrors of Nazi Germany.
So how do we turn this around, Doug? I mean, that's my big concern, that say one of these people get elected in Congress. It really frightens me, the thought of somebody like a Graham Plattner with his values and the anti-Semitic, the anti-women, there were anti-police. I mean, the list goes on and on. How do you turn it around? It seems like, and then you've got people like AOC, who's out there shouting and looking like she might run for president. Is it going to get worse before it gets better?
Yeah, I think it will. It certainly is getting worse now as we speak. I wish I could tell you something to the contrary, but it is, again, outside the realm of my experience and belief that a major political party, my party, would engage in this.
These are actions we never imagined we'd ever hear.
Right. Correct.
Well,
And
thank
again,
you.
somebody like Fetterman is 80% a Democrat voting with the party, but he is against this kind of hate and division and polarization. And he's about the only one in a prominent position who I'm hearing from.
Well, Doug Schoen, thank you. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Think about
too,
the friends
John,
we've
Rita,
lost.
And Governor Patterson, thank you for all you do for all of us.
Yeah, and thank you for speaking up, Doug, too. Thank you.
Well, you got it.